After you defined who you want to talk to, you'll need to actually find out and invite them to participate. Some sources might include people at your company. You can post on social media like LinkedIn and Facebook, or you can go to conventions and conferences. I mean, there are many different ways where you could find potential users. In any case, you'll want to ask them the questions that you defined earlier to see if they fit the characteristics that defines representative users of your target population. The number of participants in your study really depends on the study itself. But a good idea is to start with 5 users or so, and instead of running one large study, you can run very many small studies and just do them in an iterative fashion. The exact number of users depends on really the goal of the study and the study itself. So if you have questions about that, seek out an experienced user research professional or somebody who knows about market research or statistics and ask them what the ideal sample size for your sample should be. You also want to brief your users once you find them on what to expect. This should include something like, what is the background of the study? Why am I invited to this study? What do I have to expect? And what do I have to prepare? Briefing the participants helps them to get ready for the study and not be too surprised when it finally starts. Do you remember when you agreed on the outcomes of your research activity with your team and your key stakeholders? Now's the time to come back to that. Up next is how to create a research guide. A research guide is basically a blueprint for your research activity based on your research goal. It provides structure to you and the team while talking or doing other research activity with your participants. And it helps you stay on track so you can get the best information that will allow you to reach the agreed upon research goal. In short, a research guide provides structure for the field visit. It ensures that you ask meaningful questions, helps the team take notes, and it also helps you build rapport with the user. While your research goal should dictate what exactly should go into the research guide, you can construct it around 4 key areas. There should be some kind of introduction where you'll brief and introduce yourself and any team members participating in the research. There should be a building a rapport or warm-up section so you don't jump right into the meat of it and just get to know the user a little bit, understand how you can best conduct the research after that, understand their background. And then you get into the key questions and observations section. This should be the part where you focus on gaining the insights that will align with your research goal. And after that, there is some kind of wrap-up usually, where you will finish the research with the participants and thank them and so on. A great introduction helps you to set the tone for the rest of the research session. It is easy to forget some basics to achieve that. This includes making sure that you thank the participant for participating in your activity. It includes introducing yourself and your team, and it explains the purpose of the activity to the participant. After you introduce yourself, you want to take some time for establishing rapport and understanding who you're talking to. So in your guide, you should have a section for asking some background questions and getting to know your participant as a person. After you establish some rapport or basic connection with your participant, it's time to dive into the key section of the research activity. This includes asking key questions and making important observations that help you gain the research insights that align with your research goal. The questions then naturally you should ask should be derived from the agreed upon outcomes. For example, if the goal of the research activity is to inform the design of an intuitive experience for traveling expenses, your key questions should get the participant talking about the current experience with expensing travel items and observing them in action as they do so. This is just one method, but I think you get the point. Make sure you prepare some questions that you can ask the participant around your topics in your guide, so you're ready when it comes time to do so. After you got all your important research insights and your time might be coming to an end with your participants, you'll want to wrap up and thank them for participating. Don't just storm out of the room and say thanks, you'll get your incentive or gift soon, but leave some time, a few minutes or so, for any last questions or comments. Sometimes at the very end of a research activity, you'll be surprised of some really interesting stuff that emerges from the participants. You may summarize the key points to them again to see if there's anything you've missed, any corrections they want to make. Ask them again if they have questions, and then just thank them And if you have a gift incentive for them for participating, make sure they know that it'll come to them soon or give it to them. Okay, so now we talked about the research guide. So you're almost ready to get going. So you'll have to plan some key logistics before you can actually go out and meet the participant. So you want to think about how do I capture the field visits, organize any pens and papers, any cameras you need to do that. You'll want to clarify where you will meet the participant so your team knows where you can start your day or start your research activities. You'll want to find a place where you can debrief between interviews, and you also want to be mindful of any field visit settings. So if you meet users at their place of work and it's a very professional place, for example, a law firm, you probably don't want to show up in flip-flop and shorts, so make sure you dress accordingly. You've done all the necessary work now to plan and prepare your research activity with your team. Now it's just the last thing you need to do. You need to brief your team, make sure everybody's on the same page, everybody knows where to meet, and everybody has a research script and any of the note-taking material that will be required, and then you're good to go.